Hey there, Michelle Crafty Servings. So we're going to do a really cute boot craft with this Tim Holtz paper. You're not going to believe the before and after. I hope you stick around and watch. I will show you a before. There will be a little more we're adding to it, but I'm going to start from the beginning and we're going to do a second boot. I'm going to get my sleeves up and start right away. You're going to get full of paint doing this, but it's going to be so worth it. Do you want to see the before? This is the before. I got this from Goodwill. All right, I can even take the sticker off. It says Goodwill. All right. You want to see the after? Plus, I'm going to add a little more to it yet besides this. Is that not cute? So I'm going to show you how to do this. It's easy. You're going to get messy, but it's fun. So we don't need the shoelace. Now I just went in Goodwill to find one. So I got a pair of them. They were $7.99 at Goodwill. They're like brand new. I didn't even have to spray them with Lysol because they are like brand new. I honestly could have worn them, but hello, Mary. I'm glad you caught me live. I am gonna zip this up because I don't want to zip it up after, and it'll be good zipped up. All right, so I am starting with the Waverly Plaster Color chalk paint. All right, again, you're gonna get full of paint on this. If you don't want to get full of paint, then just make sure you use gloves or something, but it washes off. All I'm gonna do, and I'm not gonna worry about the top. Oh, what am I doing? I don't want to do it with this. I'm going to end up having to get up and get another paintbrush because I'm using a brush for this. That's for my Mod Podge. That's what I get. That's what I get. You could use that if you wanted, but it really goes on really well with a brush. And it will take 2 coats. You know, if you find some white boots, you maybe wouldn't need them. But you're just going to paint the whole thing. Hello, Sandy. Just paint it all. And even over the stitching and everything, that stitching adds to it. This is just really, really a cute pair of boots. So I'm excited. Okay. And then you just work around. Now, it's okay if you get into the inside. You're not going to see it when it's done. Okay, let's just get this. You also want to get down on the edging down here. And you want probably like 2 thinner layers of paint. Just really rub it in good. It dries quickly. I've got my dryer out here too. Can you do? Absolutely, you can do other colors. Now I'm using the Tim Holtz Aviary paper, so that's what will blend with this. I wanted it to sort of blend in and not like it looks like it's just sitting on top of it. So that's why I chose this color. Absolutely. And you could use regular acrylic paint. I mean, this is acrylic paint. This Waverly is actually acrylic paint. It's a chalk paint, but it's acrylic. You just paint all over. And let's just turn this. It goes on really easily. Paint right over the eyelets. Again, get on all that stitching, but we're going to make it look old. I think now is this another, remember I said how I don't really know what shabby chic is. I see some people do it, but I think this is another shabby chic. I think it qualifies. All right, now I don't know when you're done with this if you could really put it out in your garden. You probably could, but it might wash off unless you get a really, really good outdoor sealer. You maybe could find paint. I mean, there is outdoor paints, actually, even in the smaller bottles. I have some here. You could probably paint with that. I just wouldn't guarantee that it would last for past a season. So I was just going to, I didn't, my husband asked what I'm doing with it. I said, well, I'll probably put it in the flower bed. And he says, why would you do that? People don't see it. It gets overgrown. But it sort of adds to, I like adding color to my flower beds by adding things, not necessarily plants, because plants take time and I kill them. So how many of you kill plants? All right, and we're going to do right over the zipper too. And put the flap down. So just, you're doing everything. But look how fast it goes on. You don't have to be picky. Yep, acrylic paint works, is perfect. Like I said, this is honestly, Waverly chalk paint is acrylic paint. It honestly is. It's a matte finish, but this would be really cute glossy. And I actually will be adding a wax on after, which will add a little bit of shine. So, you know, whatever you have, use it. You don't have to go out and buy shoes. Like I said, these were Goodwill. If you have something at home, even like men's work boots, anything like that would work. All right, so I'm just going to take this and we're going to dry this up. I'm not going to plants though. I have a few. Yeah, Colleen, I kill my plants. I don't have room like in the house. I think I would do. Are they fashion statements? I didn't know that, Tim. All right, so let's just do another coat quick. 2 coats should be good. Where did I put my brush? I said, if you're hopping on late, do you want to see it? Well, you can't see the transformation anymore. This was a plain black boot. Look at what we're doing. And we're adding to it yet. I'm so excited to do this one. It's just fun. It's a fun project. Easy. It really is easy, but it looks so pretty, doesn't it? And we're just giving a second coat. If you think it needs 3 coats, go ahead and give it 3 coats. I don't think mine does. Just want to make sure you get everywhere, and again, you will get messy. If you don't like the paint on your hands, use gloves. Just get everywhere. Hello, Cheryl. Shoe Depot, you don't have to make your own. You know, there's a sale. There is a sale. Ooh. We don't have a Shoe Depot by us. We don't have one near here. Isn't it cute, Lisa? Honestly, like I said, I got it from Goodwill. I got these because I was looking to do this. But they're like not even used. I was expecting I'd have to get really used ones and spray them, go to Lysol for me to put my hand in them. These aren't even used. They're like brand new. So I almost feel guilty doing this, but I paid for them. It's not my boot, but it is a boot. I bought it. Well, it is my boot. I bought it at Goodwill. So it's not a boot that we're going to wear when we're done, though. It's a boot for decoration. Again, just make sure you're painting everywhere on it. You want everything covered. And we're going to age it up and make it look like it belongs in your garden. Age it. We're going to wax it. If you're coming on late, I am using the Waverly Plaster color. chalk paste, chalk paint. Honestly, the painting is probably the longest. The painting and the drawing. The drawing, because you have to make sure it's dry between the layers. And just do right over that zipper, on the zipper, everything covered. Do over the stitches. But look at how nice it goes on. Just make sure you get all those edges. All right, I think I'm almost done. Again, don't be afraid to get messy at it. I've got it on my arm here. It's already a difference. Let's dry it up, and then I'm going to have to get up because I used my foam brush where I wasn't going to. Thanks to the hearts. Just make sure we want it good and dry, and we're using the Tim Holtz aviary paper. I actually had a couple that I'm going to be giving to Goodwill, and I looked at them first, but they had fur on, and that would work. I just was looking for something a little different. Like I said, even men work boots, if you have some old ones that they have that they don't wear anymore, steal them. Use them. They would be really cute. It's got to be good and dry. It is Debbie. It's going to be cute, cute, cute. It's really honestly easy. That's why I wanted to do it, and I wanted to show you how I did mine. It's really easy. You just need the right supplies. All right, I think that's good. Yeah, it'd be really cute in the flower beds. I'm just afraid. I mean, you really would have to seal it good, and you probably would have to seal the inside. You know, but if you want it to last for one season and really get aged looking, that would be the perfect thing to do. You know, just leave it sit out there. Do I ever wear gloves? Colleen, I wear gloves sometimes when I'm using, like, when I use the, not Mod Podge, but what's the other, is it Gesso? When I use that, because I don't like the feel of that on my fingers. And it's hard to craft with when you get it on your fingers if you don't get up and wash it off. So that's, you need to use it. Outdoor paint. Yeah, and you could use the outdoor paint, but I still think you'd want to do something like, I don't know if you have to seal the inside. Okay, I'm going to get that foam brush. Just because I was foolish and used my other one. All right, so this is where we're at. Started with a plain black boot. We're going to get this water out of the way so I know I don't spill that. We're done with the plaster. All right, so now I've just got the Mod Podge. This is the Tim Holtz Aviary collage paper. I've used it for a couple years now. Honestly, I did clay pot. I've done actually recently. Well, what did I do? I did it recently on something too. I don't remember what. But I use it so much. I'm gonna keep in. You're just gonna. I like this birdie part. You're gonna cut cut pieces out and use it on different things. So, but yeah, I think my favorite that I did with this, it's probably using almost the same colors, is that clay pot. That was really pretty. All right, so this I'm going to end up putting on the front. Just going to cut pieces out. We probably can use this bird. I'm going to leave it in bigger pieces and then we can always cut it down. Okay, we're going to use these birds. We're going to maybe use this bird. Use this bird. Just cut pieces. Where do you get the paper? I got mine on Hobby Lobby, but you can get it at Amazon. You might be able to get it at maybe at Michael's or Joann's. Yeah, I used it on Birdhouse too. Yep. You can use it on so many things. It's just so cute. And it's like a tissue paper almost. All right, so I'm just going to get a little out of the way here. Now we'll start with maybe the big flat side that doesn't have any space on. And I'm just going to fit in, if I want maybe a bigger one in here. And I am going to trim it down so it's inside of that stitching. And you don't have to be perfect with it. Even if it goes over the stitching some, it's not that big of a deal. Okay, this I'm going to trim up a little bit. Just piece it together and then Mod Podge it on. I also want to get this a little bit rough. Actually, I'll just cut it a little rough. Yeah, isn't Tim Holtz? There's amazing things that he has. Okay, and I'm going to cut a little more off of there. And just keep it off of the stitching. You don't have to. I just want to. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and get started with that piece. And then we'll just keep going. We'll fit pieces on. We might have to cut some more. Okay, so you just lay it on. I pretty well want that whole section of the Mod Podge. And again, I'm using the matte Mod Podge. I like the matte. You could do the gloss if you want. I'm going to end up putting a wax over it, which will add some shine. But for now, because that's what I have, that's what I'm using. All right, let's just lay that down. And this is a little more forgiving than, okay, I'm going to cut a little up on here. Yeah, I want a lot of the stitches left. It's a little more forgiving. You're going to get a little bit of wrinkles. It's okay, but you can move it around a little bit. It's not quite as tearing, that it won't tear as easily as napkins, but you do have to be careful. Oh, I know, I did a crackle cross with this too. And yeah, that birdhouse, somebody mentioned I did a birdhouse. But I did a crackle cross also with this. Look how that just blends in though. And you want to make sure you get over all the edges, make sure that's in there like that. You probably honestly could use the Liquitex on it also. That's what I was meaning before. If I get that on my fingers, I don't like the feel of that so much, but yeah, I get, I don't use things on my gloves very often, but Liquitex, that is one that I do. All right, so let's get this over here. Let's get a bigger piece on this side. And I want to get a little bit. And it's okay if some of it goes over some stitching. I'm going to lay this one in here. Let's see what I'm doing. Actually, I'm going to cut off this topper too. I'm going to cut some of this off. Fit that in there. And if it goes over the stitching, it would be fine. And I'm trying to get it so that it's not on top of the zipper. I think I've got it cut now so that this piece will fit right in here. And even if some goes, maybe I'll bring it, I'm going to bring it down so that some of it will go onto the side here. Sorry you weren't seeing what I was doing there. And I'm going to fit that right in there. Okay, I'll just get that out of the way. Oh, by a fireplace would be really cute with this. And find other, you can use napkins or other tissue paper. Find something that would match your decor if you want it in the house. This is just cute. I love this paper. Now I don't want to lay it down because it's wet on the other side. That will stick to the paper I got below. Okay, and then I put some in this little crease here. So I just want to press that down in. If you miss some, and actually a little bit of the stitching, I'm going to cut that off. Yeah, Susan, I love Tim Holtz. I love this aviary paper. It's awesome. Yeah. Okay, just add that on. We're just going to add pieces of things. So I think this one, let's see. So we are going to do a cross. And I'm just cutting off a little bit of the edges to make them a little bit, not so even. You're not going to see all of it, but I just feel if you see a little. Okay, I don't need it all the way around though, because then it'll go on top of there. Let's just do. It's Tim Holtz collage paper. It comes in a roll. And this is the aviary. Like I said, if you want to message me, I can certainly get you my affiliate link for it. I'm actually going to cut this part off too. Then it won't go over on top of there. If you get it, I just got it all over my zipper. If you get it in places that you don't want, it dries, and we're going to be waxing on top of this. So it's okay if you get some of this Mod Podge on places that you don't want. Piece it on. I'm on Amazon. And I know I went out and looked today. All right, I'm just going to add, let's see, let's do this piece. I love this part of it. We're going to put that on here. I'm going to do it. I'm going to just try and piece it on and bend it with the boot, and we'll see how it turns out. And if some comes down on the front, it's okay. I'm going to show you another idea I have. I'm not going to put it on the boot, but you can also use like a ribbon along the bottom edge. You can certainly do that. Okay, we're going to put this across here. I'm just going to piece it down in there. Again, get it in the creases. If you need to, cut just a little just to try and get it to fold in there, but it's okay that you get those little wrinkles. Just get that down in that crease because you don't want it to be bubbled in there. Just push it into that crease. Make sure it's pushed down everywhere. And then what I'm going to do is trim off this bottom part before I do the Mod Podge. You can sand it off if you want. Oops. $1 or a metal ribbon. That would be cute. I am using a little bit of ribbon on here that I'll show you that will blend in with it. But yeah, the metal would be really cute with it. All right, at the top of the book, cute. Let's get rid of some of these little schnibbles that I won't use. Okay, now let's put something across the top here. I think this one will fit really well up here. Again, you don't want to lay it down if your Mod Podge is wet because you will have it sticking. You'll have it sticking to your paper if you're doing that. Okay. There is no rhyme or reason of what you're placing where, just whatever you like. And this has the little boot for the string on here. I just have it going down to that. Okay, it's getting there. All right, let's add a little bit more. Let's add a little something down here. We're going to put this bird in here. We'll have them down far enough so that, let me just show you. We'll have them down far enough, it'll go over the bottom. And trim up here. Are you liking this? Do you think you could try something like this? All right, so this one is going to go down over an edge. Put on as much or as little as you want. Oh, now I got 2 brushes going. Yeah, as many of these as you want. If you want to fill the whole boot, fill the whole boot. Yeah, I'm just going to press it down. Did I get it? You can tell if it doesn't lay down, you didn't get the Mod Podge underneath. Well, thank you for the hearts. I appreciate it. All right, Kathy. I'm glad y'all like it. Okay, let's just cut off this. Again, you can sandpaper after if you want. Hello, Angela. You like Tim Holtz too? Yeah. Cute, cute. All right, I think we need, maybe we're going to put a little more here. Maybe just some, of this music and maybe these numbers. You know, when it's all done, there is a little more that I'm going to add. I showed you what the before looked like. We're going to add a little bit more embellishment to it. that I think will just make cute. That in. Okay, I think we're almost done with this. Let me just see. I might need a little bit on this side yet. I think we need a little bit over in here maybe. Let's see. What if we add let me just look at what we got coming up here. I think I'm going to add this little bird yet. Let's see. Changed my mind. Okay, I'm just going to put this down on the bottom here, and I think we're going to be done then. I'll just look it over yet. I might put just a little on here. We'll see. Push it down in the crease. I'm sorry if I'm going off a camera. I was going to say, did I hear you say you were going to send that to me? We'll see. All right, let me just see if I feel like I have enough. I think I almost do. I'm going to put just a little bit, maybe a little bit of branches up this bottom yet. And then we'll get this dried up and start embellishing it, making it look a little older. Well, we're going to add wax on here. All right, what do you think? All right, I think that's enough of the Mod Podge. If you get this paper, one is plenty. I have done so much with this roll. Okay, so we'll show you. Yep, definitely going to add a little bit of floral. This isn't a guy. This was actually a woman's boot that I got at Goodwill. So a pair of them. I got the other one over here, and I want to match it. Now, I'm going to show you the difference between now and after I add the aging to it. You might like it just like this. All right. I like the aged because if it's going to go outside, I want it to look a little aged. But you might like it just like this, so then you leave it like this. And you want this really dry because next up we're going to add a little bit of paint, and then we're going to add some wax to it. I think that's pretty good. Just want to make sure there's a little bit there. Like I said, I do have some here that actually I think would be really cute. All right, I think that's pretty good. So let me show you the difference. You may want to stop at this point. It's totally your own look on it. So it's nice and bright. If you like that nice and bright color, I age it up. Okay, I aged it, but that's the difference. If you like it like this, I think aging it makes it all blend together more, and I'll show you the aging, how we're going to age it. Yes, you did catch me live, Rita. So you could stop at this point. I like it aged, so I'm keeping on doing. All right, let's just do a little bit of aging of it now. Yeah, I definitely like the aging. All right, so we're going to use a little bit of that antique Waverly Wax. So the two colors we're using for aging it are the Waverly Chalk, the moss, and the wax. You could certainly use other colors. Honestly, there's a orange that you could probably blend a little orange in here too. That would be pretty cute too. So, and all I'm going to do, I just have a scruffy brush here, and I'm going to dab it in the cover and wipe a lot of it off. And just paint some of that on in places. Now, you can see there's no rhyme or reason when I'm doing it. Just put it over it. You again want to wipe a lot of it off so you don't get really big clumps of it. But a little goes a long way on here. And wait till you add the green. That really makes a difference. I think the green really adds the aging to it. And you're going to do the same thing, only I add a little extra green. Even just doing this part of it adds a little more than keeping it that nice bright. This just adds a little more to it yet. So again, at any point you could stop. I got everywhere. All right, that's that. Okay, then we're going to take the moss green. Yeah, it's hard to decide. I do like the bright too. I honestly do. But I do like the aged, and I want two matching boots, so I did the other one aged. Again, we're going to use a scruffy brush again. Wipe a lot of it off. Now this you're going to see, I'm going to leave a little more of the green and just along, I'm going to do a lot of that along these seams. Thank you, Sue. And along the zipper. It really stands out on that stitching. Again, I'm getting a lot more green than what I did of the brown, and I don't mind that at all. I'm not wiping as much of it. Have you ever used cinnamon to do the aging? I've used cinnamon for rusting up some things, but not for aging, like on boots or something, like aging on things, other than, like I said, for rust effect on some metal. I've done that. But yeah, that would be a good idea for that too. Yeah, I think this green really makes a difference on here too. Okay, we'll get it all over. Let's get some in this middle here. And I am doing this so messy. You don't want to do it. It was just a little dark on that birdie. I didn't want that. I want those words to show a little more. Okay, I think, okay, look at the difference now. Let me close this up, get rid of this, and now we're going to dry it and wax it. Look at the difference now just by adding that aging. And again, you could stop at this point. You may not like the wax part of it. I like the wax, but I think I honestly could get away with, I like this too. But the wax is going to cover a lot of it, and then we're going to wipe a lot of it off. So this is the Waverly White Wax. This is collage paper. It's Tim Holtz collage paper. It comes on a roll. It comes on a roll. All right, so again, you may want to stop at this point and not wax it and maybe spray it with clear acrylic sealer. This is going to age it even more, and we're going to wipe a lot of it off after I dry it. So just going to dip in here, and you're going to see, you may not, we're going to wipe a lot of it off. It covers, but it's going to add even more of an aged look to it. But we're going to get it to dry up. You can see it's covering some of these. I'm going to do that all over on here and then wipe some of that up. An idea from another crafter to buy a big sponge, cut it in pieces. And you know, another thing you can use the big sponge with, and I tear it up, is for like when you like to do that dab, like if you want to dab like for like a mossy effect, you can do that with that sponge too, Susan. I mean, that I've done before. But that's a good idea for this too. Again, like I said, we're going to be taking a lot of this off. We'll dry it up a little bit and then take a bunch of it off. Okay. Good, Sue. I'm glad you like learning some of these things. Some of these things I do new too. I learn also from all of you. So we're going to dry a lot of this up, and then we're going to wipe it to, it sort of buffs it. It's like a wax, so you're going to buff it a little bit, and I'm going to use a baby wipe to buff it to get some extra off. It'll leave some on, and it'll take some off. Can just play with the wax, and like I said, depending upon the surface, and with this wax you are supposed to buff it off. I've used it where I put it on and wiped it right away without even drying. I just really rubbed it in good on a painted surface, and I love that look. That was on a sign I did with words that I painted the sign. I did love that look. It just added that little bit of white blend. There was one of my followers, and she's actually lives near here, used this Waverly wax on painted boards this weekend, and it was painted wood pieces, and did magnolia stencils on these stacked sort of boards. It was so cute, and that wax just really made a difference. All right, all right, so again, I'm going to use a baby wipe and wipe some of this off. And that's going to buff it a little. You can buff it with paper towel too. But it's going to take a little off. I don't want to take all of it off. It'll just take a little bit of off. And honestly, with it, it tells you you should wait 24 hours before buffing. But it depends what you're doing. Isn't this, it's crazy the transformation, right? From a black boot. Again, I'm just rubbing a little of that off, not all of it. Okay, I think I'm almost done. What do you think? And I mean, again, if you don't want paint all over you, this will wash off after. Chalk paint usually has a pretty good seal on your fingers, but it'll wash off. Yeah, Kim, you have to try it. Even if you try it on a board. On a board, it would be just really cute too. But, all right, we got that. Let's get this stuff out of our way. Let's get our glue gun up here. We're going to embellish a little bit. Not much of gluing. Now, you've seen me use this material a dozen times before, just like I've used this Tim Holtz paper a dozen times before. I'm also going to be adding in, okay, so one other thing I'm going to be adding in, and we can do that right away. So I've got this little lace. You honestly could put it around the edges like this. That would be really cute. All right, but I'm going to put it on this, just this one seam, just to add a little cuteness. And it fits right on that seam perfectly. You could do it, oh, you know what? I'm actually going to do it on this seam also, on this side seam also. That'll be cute too. I'm just going to take a little bit of hot glue and start it down here. And you still see that green around it. I'm just adding a real little bit of glue here. Now I didn't do this on my other one. I'll have to embellish that one too to make it look sort of the same. But isn't that cute? Adding that on there. Can you see that? Right, and I do think I'm going to do it right along this edge. Yeah, this is the fun part. Honestly, it is. All right, let's just we're going to do that all the way along right away. That's cute. That's cute. It is. And we're using lace. We are using lace. I'll show you how we're using it. But yeah, absolutely, lace on this part would be really cute too. All right, so we added that on here. And you could, like I said, you could put it all the way around if you wanted. You could put it on there all the way around. I'm not going to. I think that's enough of that. So I've got some of these that I'm going to choose something. I think I have an idea. I mean, it'd be cute to hang. I'm going to be putting, oh, this would be really cute though too. So I've got some of these. This is jewelry. Honestly, this is in the jewelry department at Hobby Lobby. This was on clearance. You can see the yellow sticker. These are little, are they frogs? No, they're like some kind of bug. I might take one and hang on here. I think I'm going to use this one. And we might take a button and put up on the top. Okay, you could also use like any of these tokens would look really good with what we're doing, but I think I'm going to use this. All right, so I'm going to use this to hang from it. I think that's really cute and that's sort of old looking. So we're going to do that. Okay, so you've seen me use this fabric a dozen times. And we're using lace. So this is going to be our tie. So it takes a minute to cut. I think so, Debbie. I think it's going to be really pretty. All right, so this, you can't tear this. You can tear the fabric, but you can't tear the lace. So this is going to be a little long doing this. Put the bug on the top of the boot part. Oh, that would be cute too. That'd be cute. Of course, I'm going to add a little button. Something it's not going to stand out a lot, but we'll add a button. Okay, and I'm only doing maybe a 1/2 inch or a 1/3 inch strip because it's got to fit through. These are the laces. It's got to fit through this. We're almost done now. We're in the home stretch. If I could tear this, it would go a lot quicker, but I can't. You could do it just a couple laces and then like do it as a tie, like a bow. You could also do that. You could do it with jute. I just like this look with the lace and that green fabric because I think it goes really well with this. We're in the home stretch. So the fabric I don't have to cut. That's going to be tore. So that works better here. And I'll post before and after pictures later. The transformation from a black boot to this, I think, is incredible. Whether you like it or not, that's up to you, but I still think the transformation is incredible. I hope you like it, Mary. It does look interesting, doesn't it? All right, Carla. Again, if you might even have some kind of ribbon trim that you could use for the laces, but I just love this lace look. It's not going to overpower away from this. Okay, this is one of our laces. The other lace, again, I use this all the time. I love this fabric. Okay, we're just going to cut the ends off. I think there's a white. Oh, not really. Okay, we'll get rid of some of these strings. We're just going to lace up our boots. I think on this first one already is where I'm going to put my little bug. Okay, and I'm just going to twist those two together. And we're just going to lace our boots. It's not going to go all the way up. Okay, we're going to add our little bug here. Yeah, like it. All right, so this isn't the same length, the lace to the green, so I'm going to cut that the same length so I can center this too. Okay, look at this. So you'll see when I do that. Isn't that cute on there? And you can have it a little bit to the side or something. It just adds a little something to it. So there's so many different things. And that was in the jewelry department, honestly. All right, so now we're just gonna lace up our boots. Okay, that's when I'll do. All right, so this has this little lip thing here. I'm gonna put it through there. That's the last one because I'm out of my stuff here. Oops, that's got to go through that little lip too. It had a broken. All right. I'm just trying to get these laces in so I don't have bumps. There we go. What do you think? What do you think? Isn't that cute? All right, so now we're gonna see if we can't add a little floral to this. So I think maybe even, so I was thinking a little button, like I have that. I love these. This would be really cute on the laces too. I would have to get a bigger little jump ring. I have actually a bigger button. I think a little one, just to say I did a button. I think I'm going to put it up here. Some lace at the big thrift store. Ah, scored on lace. You would tie, oh, that's a good idea. Tie a knot in the hanging lace. You're talking like this, right? Like that. That's a good idea. I think that's what you meant. Flipping over this one. Oh, thank you. I was wondering, what do you mean flipping over? Okay, I think I got it. Thank you, Peggy. And it was so easy, right? It honestly was easy. It took a little bit, but it's really easy to do. Oh, that's cute. That's cute. Thank you. All right, so we're taking, and I'm going to use my scissor on here. We're cutting off the back of that button. You know what? This might be metal. Maybe we won't. Oh, there. Let's say maybe we won't cut off the back of this button. All right, and I'm just going to put this up on top here. Well, see, I might add, let me add that after the little bit of floral. Well, I'll have to remember to go back to that though. I do think this would have been really cute hanging too. This was another piece of jewelry. That would have been really, really cute on here too. But I do like that bug. Oh yeah, buttons. Wouldn't it? Oh, you get those little buttons. You could do a couple on each side. Oh, just wait. I've got 4 buttons. You're right. What if I do that? Do that on the top 2 here. Should I do that? That's a good idea. Y'all are really good. What do you think of this? I love this. I do love this. I think, let's just stick it in here. I got 2 of them. Is that cute? So, all right. Just add whatever floral you want. My floral, I know, is not good. But yeah, just cute. Just cute. So, I like this side. I like this side. I like those birds. It would be great on your porch, and that's what I think. It'll have to go on a step. We'll see. And like I said, if you could spray it with a good sealer for outside, but it also will absorb in from the top, so you're going to get that water going through. I don't know that it'll actually hold, you know, so I'm going to keep it out of the elements. I might put it on my front step or something just to keep it out of the elements. So yeah, I think it'd be really a cute indoor decoration too. So there we go. Cute, cute, cute. I think I love that we added that little lace trim in there. I think that made such a difference too. So, grungy old boots. Yeah, go steal them. So, all right, you all have a good day, and hopefully I'll see you really soon.